Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps that I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Down. Strap season. I know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for a piece, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, they you might want to get out of dogs while they eat me. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beat. If they don't leave anything behind after eating.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a when you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they want to call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin.
What's going on? What's going on? Boxing heads, what's happening, man? Hope everybody, let's get some people up in here. You know, a lot of things going on, man. A lot of things happening for Bud Crawford. You know, he's sitting on top of the world right now. You know, he got everything. You know, he got all kind of deals. He can go any direction. He can go any direction he want to. You know, the world is his oyster right now. He could fight at 168, and he could fight some guys up there. But I don't think anybody really want to see Bud Crawford beat up Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see him beat up Belanga or nobody like that. We already know he already beat the top dog at 168. And I do not believe that most people don't want to see Bud Crawford, you know, fight David Benavidez. That was more of a Canelo thing, you know. I think them two had more chemistry. You know, do I believe Bud would fight David Benavidez? I think if it was enough uh, publicity behind it, I think if it was enough boxing heads that wanted him to do it, he probably would. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I know that they denied the fight. I know they said that they wasn't going to fight David Benavidez. I know Bomac came out and said they're not going to fight David Benavidez, which is probably smart because, you know, 175, then we'll start, you know, he already made 168, which is, that's kind of crazy. So everybody already thinking about like Marty, like manager Marty was saying, you know, the snack program works. Snack program works. If he go up to 175, hey, you know what I'm saying? I think snack should be, it should be the standard for all fighting camps. You know what I'm saying? If he go up to 175 and he can deal with David Benavidez, the monster. What's going on, Master Khalid? What's happening, my brother? If you can go up to 175 and deal with David Benavidez the way he dealt with Canelo, man, we're gonna have to. I think the CIA gonna have to grab him, and that boy ain't from this world. You know what I'm saying? That boy's from Krypton. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was shipped here. They found him in Area 51 and made clones and let them loose upon the earth. Cause I swear there's at least two niggas in Texas that look like Terrence Crawford. I'm just saying. There's at least two or three niggas look like Terrence Crawford. I'm just telling you, the nigga a clone. He's just a goddamn clone with super strength. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, it is what it is. you know. And for some reason, it seemed like every Negro got a clone, or everybody has a doppelganger. You know what I'm saying, in the world. And they just somebody that just look like you. You know what I'm saying. That's why we always go into jail for what other motherfuckers doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they think we look all alike. You know, and sometimes shit we do look alike. Shit, sometimes I get us goddamn confused. I get white people confused all the damn time. I'd be like, God damn, that motherfucker look just like everybody else in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But luckily, you know what I'm saying, I don't be paying attention like that. It's kind of like when you see the same car on the road, but once you buy it, you see the same car over and over again. Before you buy that shit, you don't even pay that shit no attention. When you buy whatever you buy, you notice it everywhere, different colors. It don't damn matter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not the nigga from the corn for sure. But but what's going on, Keenan? But yeah, man, they Crawford got, I know he's talking about going down to 160, and possibly fighting at 160, and he probably come undisputed there because he only got a couple of fights, about three fights to go down there. He got about three fights to go down there, and so but one thing I saw today that I read, and it was Hatton. Hatton had died. You know, um, they found him dead, and they said it wasn't like no homicide and nothing like that. But what's his first name? What's his first name? H. What's Hatton's first name? H. Are you old man or not? Man, you just be coming on here going to sleep and shit. Let's see. Ricky Hatton. Yeah, Ricky Hatton. Um, yeah, he passed. Yeah. You on, man, or what? Herschel. What the hell going on? Um, yeah, Ricky Hatton passed, man. And they said it wasn't like a homicide or nothing like that. Um, so, 46 years old. I did not like this dude. His fighting style was ugly, but it was aggressive and effective, Um, pretty wild guy. He was dirty ass fighter. But yeah, dirty ass fighter. Gave Mayweather a little hell at the beginning, but Mayweather, put him in the matrix and started breaking him down. You know what I'm saying? Another front runner. He was going hard at Mayweather. Mayweather, you know, you know, uh, put that check left hook on him, and he ran into the he ran into the buckle. I was like, that's man. Mayweather was he was on another level, bro. Even though Manny Pacquiao went out there and put them foo fops on him, and whoo, man, he looked like he wasn't going to survive that one, because he ran straight into that punch, what I'm saying, for Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton ran straight into that punch. And to see him pass, I could have swore he was older than 46. For a 46-year-old man, and I know that boxing kind of ages the body. Yeah, he was suffering from depression, something going on. You know, hell, I'm older than Ricky Hatton, and I don't even look old as that motherfucker. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, my bad, Pool. That was my laptop thing was on there. Yeah, it was Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell? I say Ricky Hatton, man, he could have coached. He could have he could have done a number of things. He could have, been a spokesman for
Yeah.
somebody. He could have did commercials, over there in Britain, the little boring ass commercials and shit, you know.
Pool-
Hey man,
Pool-
anything I always associate the BBC with some boring ass shit. They always had boring programming. You know what I'm saying?
they're
It's
very
like,
they're bland. They chicken with no seasoning.
nigga, they ain't got seasoning on shit. I'm talking about they shit is
They
straight.
do they thing.
This shit is straight oak, straight grain and oak, nigga. That's it. And ain't
Mm,
no salt in that shit. Cause I was used to, on those rainy days when you was a kid, and see back when I was growing up, it wasn't number like 3, 4 channels, nigga. It was like
mm,
NBC, ABC, and it was the public announcement channel
mm,
that you could get. You could get that channel when it was storming. It didn't even matter, but they always had those boring ass British shows on that motherfucker. And it's like they come in nice and clear too. You know what I'm saying? You be trying to get the good little cable shows, you know what I'm saying, with the
mm,
squiggly lines going by. But boy, them goddamn PVC shows come in nice and clear, goddamn it.
mm.
Talking about fraud counting and shit and goddamn, you know what I'm saying, how to make scrumpets and you'd be like, that shit coming clear as hell. I was like, nah, they got a powerful ass satellite. Right? They got a damn satellite right over your house, you know. And but yeah, man, Ricky, he's out of here, man. Um, people as you get older, people be leaving this mug, man. Fighters, you never know what's ailing them over these years. You said depression, that's a mental thing. And what I'm saying, I'm sad that, he's gone. We still got fighters out there like Barrera, Eric Morales, what I'm saying, guys who are aging, who kind of retired. Shit, Manny Pacquiao should have stayed retired. I don't even know why he came back.
Yeah, he only did at 46 too. That's pretty young.
Mhm. But they said it wasn't they said it wasn't nothing homicidal. They said it wasn't nothing like a homicide, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't considered suspicious, So I
Mhm.
don't know. Maybe he took something, maybe they'll find something in the system. I don't know. But those guys always be dealing with gangsters and all kind of shady type of individual. I don't know if he had a gambling problem. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. And maybe it's just nothing. Maybe just, it was just his time. Maybe it was just his time.
Well, people be hey man, I think people think that just because people are successful and they have fame and maybe they're proficient in their careers, people not dealing with stuff. I think one thing about this era, post COVID 2020, is it's shown that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of shit. And, we're starting to see it, whether it be
Mm,
through people passing, unfortunately, new documentaries, people coming out and saying it, like, people dealing with real shit. And I think sometimes we
you
forget that as fans, of course, we don't care because, we want our entertainment, but, they not robots. They humans. And they
hmm Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. And like you said though, it will look like it's exponentially worse for fighters when they get some money because their profession is so demanding that they don't have a lot of time to wallow in the mud. They gotta keep going to the next thing and get the training. So that's also got to be kind of traumatic. To know that you can't pursue and get yourself healed. You got to go sit on somebody's couch. And in the black community, we really don't believe in that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was a little, well, I hate to say crazy, but if you had some mental problems and shit, you know what I'm saying, you was gonna get hit in the head with something and shit till you act right. You know what I'm saying? That's how we were raised. That's how we raised in the black community. You might have some mental problems. You might be going through something traumatic. One, you might lose a friend or something like that. Especially nowadays, the way these gangsters going at it. Your parents don't want to hear that shit. They want to want you to bring some money into the crib. They don't believe in back then when I was growing up, you had to work. You know what I'm saying? To get your school clothes and things of this nature. You had to get out there and get it. And your parents didn't want to see you with all these emotional connections and stuff. And you know, but people be going through it, you know, and that shit be real. You know what I'm saying? That shit be real. And some people are more sensitive than others too. So you never know how people gonna take what they're going through. Um, and like you might be able to take a lot more emotional, things than me. You know what I'm saying? Because just the way whatever you went through, you're able to deal with it, or maybe you just had experience with it. Some folks just snap. As soon as they run into trouble, run into problems, they just kind of take a more negative dive. They dive into that negativity instead of looking to the bright side. If you can't look on the bright side of things, you're gonna have a hard life, bro. If you can't laugh at tragedy, you know what I'm saying, and just lift yourself up out of that depression, bro, you're gonna have a hard life because there's always gonna be a downward turn. And I know that's kind of like pessimistic or something, but that's the way I deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be able to laugh at, your pain sometimes, to get yourself out of the funk. You can't like my auntie would say down south, you can't woggle in it. You can't woggle in it, bro. You gotta shake that shit because you still got to pay your rent. You still got to move on, man. You still got to take care of yourself. So, and these fighters, it's the same thing, man. You got to take care of yourself, bro. You know, you got to move on. I mean, you can't get wrapped up in a woman so much that she's your everything. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen if she walks out your life? Now you got nothing to live for. And I see a lot of these young men, they get wrapped up into these women who are halfway in to the relationship. It don't mean as much to them than it does to the guy, right? And I've seen a lot of that in the military, where guys would come home off leave from being out there 6 7 months and come home. They get, their whole family's gone. You know what I'm saying, to another dude. You know what I'm saying, kids and everything. So I've seen some crazy shit out here, man. They wonder why men be snapping and going off the deep end, right? Men be dealing with some real shit out here. Yeah, what you say? What you say?
No,
AK?
I'm saying, but with with a lot of dudes, like the thing is, and I well, the situation pertains to like when I'm talking to my homie and my friends, I always say, look, 50 Cent said this different, but it's like, bro, if you don't love yourself, if you ain't comfortable with being alone, if you're not comfortable with things yourself, don't even worry about trying to get no girl because you can't get with them and try to project onto them, what you think you're gonna be able to project onto them. Like it's gonna be a situation where they're a woman, they have their emotions and their feelings, and they have certain expectations from you. And whether they're gonna say it or not, that's what come with it. And even so, if you ain't ready to deal with that, don't even put yourself in that position. I think a lot of dudes they be trying to go all in, super fall in love with somebody because they don't know what loving themselves is, or they dealing with mommy and daddy issues. And you can't project that onto these girls nowadays. It's too much. Their heads is too in the clouds. They see it's too many things that they want from the world. And so if you ain't at one with yourself, or you have an understanding of knowledge yourself to a certain degree on certain things, I you know, I wouldn't even see why dudes would do that. That's why they be crashing out like that.
Well,
It's
they're
like,
crashing out because they're being raised by the single mother culture. And I was raised by a single mother culture because, I crashed out in a motherfucking minute. I just got more control because I had uncles and I had my granddaddies. And, I went to work early with real men who work with their hands, welders, out in the watermelon field. So, what I'm saying, I was exposed to, a lot of grown man shit, working hard and, uh, I'm talking about sun up to sundown type shit. And I got to see what men act like. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell you that single mother culture is what it is. They will crash out on you over the smallest thing. So it's kind of hard to pass the torch because these kids don't want to hear it. Just like they'll block you out like women block you out. If you say one thing, they don't want to hear, they will block you out. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And if you say to them, you got a fight on your hand. So it's a little bit different than when, my generation growing up, we listened to the old heads from my generation. And because we wasn't as volatile and we had a larger attention span. You know what I'm saying? Saying because we was used to going outside and working. You know what I'm saying? We used to being up under old men, up under the cars as they took out carburetors. You know what I'm saying? We was there when they took, the differentials off and, saying taking tires off use. You know what I'm saying? We was sitting there getting trained, sitting up under men that were breaking down cars and guys who were welding, tearing down, learning how to scrap metal and how to hustle to make money in the real world. So I was under guys like that. And I think that's missing, what I'm saying? Because a lot of these kids, they just want to play video games. You know what I'm saying? They growing up playing video games and not really getting a sense of how to hustle in the real world. If it ain't scamming on the computer, they don't know nothing about doing shit with their hands, or how to get out there in the world and, chase down a dollar. So and then they're not being raised under men because the men ain't in the house right now. So you got a generation of kids out there that don't really respect, what I'm saying, the older generation. They got social media, they got their phones, and that has replaced the hierarchy, right, of the family. Because I was just seeing in Alabama where some female just murked her mom. She was like 16-year old, just murked her mom because she took her phone or some shit like that. These kids they're so impressionable, right now. And everything is about social media. Everything is about social media. I think social media is it's kind of like Satan or something. It's kind of like hell, tell you the truth. But did you see what Crawford is injured? You know what I'm saying? Even though he was able to do the post press conference, but he was injured. He had to go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that that comes from them body shots and his shoulder. I think he said his shoulder was messed up. Trying to click you in. There you go.
What wasn't there a rumor that both of them came into this fight with injuries, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's a rumor that both of them came. Well,
Wouldn't
I
that
mean,
wouldn't
um,
that be incredible if he was? Because there was a rumor that he had a shoulder injury and he fought this fight with a shoulder injury. So that would be crazy.
I
That would
mean,
be crazy.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I mean, I'm trying to take credit with from Terence Crawford so damn bad, but I can't. So it's just like, hey, he did his thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I mean, it was a miraculous performance, a shutout performance. He dominated Canelo, and it's just like, man, I'm still stunned to this day.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, it's that thing where when you go for so long without fighting good competition, you become a dull blade. And that's what happened to him. He got so used to outshining the competition that he got a warped sense of where he was, on the hierarchy in boxing.
Are you talking
You
about
got to fight.
Canelo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you keep fighting, guys that are not on your level, then you think you that man, you think you that dude. But see that when you start fighting those guys that are way better, they got different skill sets or higher skill sets. They got top tier skill sets like Crawford or like Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're gonna end up looking like you look. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Because you don't
you
forgot.
know, the thing about that pull for Canelo, what I'm disappointed for Canelo is okay. I don't know if his trainer had been listening, but Bo Mack and Terrence said from the jump, "Hey, we got the cheat code. We see his weaknesses, right?" Almost everybody came into this fight saying, "Yo,
Hmm.
you're gonna come in, you're gonna try to walk him down, you're gonna take it on the chin." That wasn't a problem. It's like you knew the counter was gonna be he was gonna try to take away you counter punching and throwing shots in the middle to trade punches. I'm wondering, and we know why because we had that discussion Saturday. I'm wondering why your trainer didn't have
Hmm.
a counter to the counter. Like you're supposed to at least have a counter to the first two counters, and then after that, if the person just beat you, they just beat you. But that's what I'm wondering because it's like, well, you came in here, you started off slow. We know you don't really throw jabs. That's cool, but y'all whole thing was just okay. Go to the body. All right, but what was the set? What was the plan if the body don't work? Where was the boxing? Where was the head movement? Like you just some of that. I'm not asking for you to take it back to when you fought Danny Jacobs or whatever, because that's been a long ago. That's years ago. But the thing with Canelo is like that's what the disappointment is. You didn't at least have one counter, but it is what it is.
But that's how you fight, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. He thought what he did was enough. He's a machine, and he thought he was going to be able to go through Crawford coming up those weight classes. So he thought what he was doing was going to work. And what we know from Eddie Reynoso, there is no plan B or C. There is no secondary plans. It's just Canelo going out there with power shots, throwing them at your body. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he don't work with a jab. That's his biggest problem right there. Is he don't jab. You know what I'm saying? He just lunges in, you know what I'm saying, with wing shots. And it been working for him until he came across with somebody who thinks boxing. Let me holler at my people. What's up going on, Mr. Moet? Say, what's up, Pool? What's going on, Mike? You know what I'm saying? Light skin business in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, bro? And Jason Allen, what's happening, bro? So, I think he learned the crucial lesson, it's the hubris, same lesson that Earl Spence Jr. learned. No matter how high you go, you know what I'm saying? You can still fall. You got to do the same things that you did to get there. You can't forget that. You gotta stay close to the craft of boxing, and the further you get away from your craft, you think you know it all. That's when you begin to get dumb. That's when you get a little stupid. You know, like a hood champion said. They be taking it to the stupid. And they forget, you know, that you got to keep that eye of the tiger. I know that's corny, but it's true, you know. And one thing about Bud Crawford, he keeps that eye of the tiger. He stay in the gym, and he knows that one thing that's smart about Crawford. 9 times out of 10, most fighters are not going to be up in the gym like that. So he got an edge. Working on his shit, staying sharp, staying in shape. That's another thing that had. He knew that probably 95% of boxers are not going to be working out year round. They're not going to be working out year round. So that gives him an edge right
I
there.
did a school where
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
What's
we'll
up,
like
Ben? What's going on, Ben? Long time no see, brother. I used to love when Ben come up this motherfucker drunk as hell. I'm saying that boy be talking mad shit, boy. Know what I'm saying? That boy used to have me hollering. What's going on, bro? I miss the rants and stuff, you know. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know what Crawford goes from here, but Canelo definitely got a lot of options. There's a lot of people that still want to see Canelo in the ring, right?
yeah,
That was just one loss. He still got his fan base.
yeah, but I
He
think at
still
this
got.
I think so. I feel like based upon the performance he had and just the reception for the people, at this point, Canelo is like, look, what has been called into question is what people have been saying for the last 6 or 7 fights that you've been fighting. Bus drivers, the people who just going, want to rock. It's like if you don't fight David Benavidez at this point, I think that shit gonna slow down. Like we looking at the end of a Canelo era. If he don't fight somebody worthy to where we can see him have to go inside that toolbox and pull something else other than walking them down, it's just like there's no point at this point. Because we know now, anytime you're facing anytime you face a challenge where somebody is not gonna duke it out with you but box you and challenge you, you lose. So it's at this point, it's like you gotta show us something.
That's for you. But for Mexican fan base, they don't care. Canelo is more than just a boxer to them. That's what you're not understanding. They love Canelo. He's a symbol. He's their Ali. You see what I'm saying? So for us, yeah, we may not tune in, but he's gonna get his base. He brings his base. That's why he get paid so much money, because he brings his own fan base. You know what I'm saying? Now for Crawford what's gonna be interesting is to see how many fans Crawford picking up, because he's picking up a lot of fans right now. Let's see if that turns into dollars. He may not need the fan base with the Turkey money behind him. Look like Turkey going to support him no matter what right now. Especially, he's in the driver's seat. He went out there and became undisputed 3 times. So it's going to be interesting to see how Crawford, do with the fans. Since now he's a worldwide celebrity right now. And depending on who he picked, now if he go down there and fight Carlos Adames, those are good. Those are pretty good fights. Carlos Adames, how you say that other one name? Janovic,
Yeah,
that's how you say it, Janovic. And
mm-hmm.
It's one more than Laura, and I forgot the other one that's down there at 160. Now, if he can clean up that division and become a 4 division, undisputed champion, man, that is crazy. That is ridiculous. You know, that is ridiculous, man. That dude he's gonna be seriously the GOAT if he go down there and do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we got to wait and see. He's got a long recovery. He just shook up the world. So we got to wait to see what's going to happen for Crawford. But I doubt if he go for David Benavidez. As for Canelo, he's just grabbing money right now on his way out the door. What's going on, Most Hated?
Well, Bomac
Shalom,
said
bro.
they not going for Benavidez, so we know that's probably not going to happen.
Hey, let Most Hated get in, KL. Go
No, go
ahead,
ahead.
Most Hated. What
Go
you
ahead.
saying? Now I
Shalom,
want to hear
bro.
what's your take on it. Where you think Crawford goes from here, and Canelo? Where they go?
Man, the sky's the limit for Bud Crawford. A lot of people want to, match his resume to Floyd Mayweather. And I said, Floyd, only thing separate Floyd is those 24 world champions, though. Floyd has never been undisputed. He's been unified, but he has never conquered none of those 5 divisions he campaigned in, though, Pug. Not one time.
Mm,
Where does
That's
Bud
being
go from
Israel.
here?
That's being. Hey,
There
Ben,
you go, Pug.
could you get close on your mic? Because it's something that's like choppy. Yeah, get
It's
up on your
chopping.
mic. Yeah. I can't barely hear you. Go ahead. Say
I'm
what
gonna
you're
go
saying.
in. I'm gonna go in and come back out real quick though.
Okay.
I got some apps open.
Okay. What's going on, SJ Boxing IQ? What's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I mean, shit. I mean, we got some pretty good fighters coming up. I think this Lester Martinez is going to be one to watch. Um, I don't know what's going to be hold for what you call it, M Billy. So he's an interesting fighter. That was a good little banger right there. Um, I could see him being competitive at 168. We got some pretty good fighters starting to come up. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't afraid to get in the ring. Um, 'cause, those guys are older. Crawford and Canelo, they on their way out. We got to start looking at the new talent that's coming up, and who's going to replace these guys once they're gone, because they're not going to be here forever. So we got to start looking at the new batches, the Jerron Boots Ennis's of the world. You know what I'm saying? What we got down there at 154 right now, 147 is kind of desolate. And uh, if we can get Abdullah Masons and the shoes, and if we can get Keyshawn Davidsons to get their head on straight, man. We could have it banging down there. 140, of course, got Richard Hitchison and what's Gary Antoine Russell and I forgot Pablo. Those some good dudes down there. If they could just get in the ring and start fighting, um, so we got some really good fights ahead of us, man. If they could just get in the ring and go ahead and make it happen. So I'm still excited about boxing. Um, I like to see those guys fight as long as they don't like take 10 years and shit to get in the ring. I want to see boxing get back to the point where belts matter. You know what I'm saying? Where guys are just not going for just the payday. These or waiting around for paydays or preserving themselves for a bigger payday. We got to work ourselves through the divisions. Get these belts, get in the number one contender spot, and go fight the champion. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would like to see, but I don't know if we're going to get all the way there. As long as we got these different promoters like Turkey, making huge event fights. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're gonna have to wait and see about it, man. Just got to wait and see. But I'm happy for Crawford. He made, his money. You know what I'm saying? He's got his accolades. You know what I'm saying? Now he's sitting on top of the world. Now I don't ever have to hear Crawford say, they all doubted me and all. I ain't got to hear that shit no more. Now he's on top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that shit no more. But it was just kind of interesting, to see him doing all kind of interviews and just being in the limelight for once. And he handles it graciously. He handles it better than I thought he would. He's a real. He's gotten more mature over the years. I was looking at what's his name, Bernie the Boxer. I was looking at him talk, and he was talking about the journey and everything, and he got a serious side. He's a clown. He's definitely a clown, but he's definitely a troll. But he's got a serious side. So he knows his boxing. You know what I'm saying? But he's there for Bud for sure, 100%. What's going on? What's going on, Israel? The most hated.
My, mic check. How my mic sound now, man?
This sounds better.
Yeah, man. But Bud done took off though, man. Bud is Bud though.
Mhm.
And 3 times in either a 3 or 4 belt era, he's the first one to do it. Mel, because Clarissa Shields, I don't know why they don't give her roses though. But anyway, when we talk about Bud and Wood, I don't know why. Another thing, Paul, why do people asking, oh, Bud should fight David Benavidez? What the fuck? What? It was a cherry went wrong for Canelo though. Bud supposed to been a cherry for Canelo. That shit just went wrong.
Yeah.
And then all of a
You
sudden,
know,
now since he beat their favorite fighter ass, he got to fight the boogeyman.
I told you that was going to happen for black fighters. They want them to fight everybody in the universe. You know, um, that's just something they put on us. They expect him to go straight to Benavidez, but they already said they're not going to fight David Benavidez. They're talking about going back down to 160, Ben.
And that'd be a
Mhm.
beautiful thing. I think a 6 division should be, you know what I'm saying? I'll be pressing
Mm.
Canelo for a rematch though. I thought you wanted this smoke, Canelo. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let Bud
Well,
just beat your ass like that? You don't
hey,
want
to
your
be
belts
honest,
back?
hey, didn't he let Bivol beat his ass like that and just got the hell on?
It
You know
wasn't
what I'm
like
saying?
that
So,
though. It wasn't really like that. Bud put hands, feet, and everything on his ass though.
shit,
You know what I'm
Bivol put
saying?
hands, feet. Bivol put hands and feet. Shit, I thought Canelo ass was about to get the hell on up out of there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Bivol
Bud,
put,
okay. Well, Bud took all this belt.
yeah, but
Took all his belt.
he wouldn't allow Bivol to come down. Remember, he wouldn't allow Bivol to come down to fight at 168. Bivol was willing to come down. He was like,
Nah,
hell to
because
the
he was
no.
at he was trying to take Bibble shit. You know what I'm saying?
No. He wanted. He was going to stop. He was going to avoid that fight. The fight to get them belts at 168. That's what Bivol was going to do. But he did not allow that shit. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah. Now he'll probably, he was talking about fighting him back up at 175, but we know that was bullshit. He says he is exercising okay. I can see that. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be another huge payday for Bud Crawford. I tell
Yeah,
you what, I'm
Canelo.
not. I tell you what, I'm not betting against Bud Crawford. You know what I'm
Yeah, of
saying?
course not.
I'm not betting against Bud Crawford. I tell you that. He said Bud Crawford came to beat Canelo. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know. He says, "What's good? What's going on, Robert Emily Jones in the building? One of the 300, baby." You know what I'm saying? He says, "Bud, resume still trash." He says, "Beat David Boots, and I give him credit." He says, "Bud fans, of course, going to whine and complain about a tough fight." Yeah, you know. He says, "The second fight said he was trying to take Canelo's." He said the second fight he was trying to take Canelo belt. He says Bivol beat him way worse. I thought Bivol beat shit out of him, bro. I don't know why people downplay that beating he took from he was doing the same. He was trying to act like he was, he wasn't in survival mode, but he was in
But
survival mode.
it was, I'm me personally put, I'm not downplaying the Bivol win, but if you look at
Mhm.
how Crawford dismantled him, Crawford broke his will, man.
Crawford beat him.
Canelo was showing signs of quitting in there. To me, I don't know what nobody else saw.
No,
That
I
motherfucker was,
feel you.
he was
I
showing me
feel you.
signs. I'm like, nah, not the great Canelo, not Cinnamon finna quit, not El Rasa.
I thought it was gonna be no mask, my nigga.
You know what I mean? He was acting like, I'm like, damn, boy, this shit for real. He made me a believer after beat my guy ass, though. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't
Oh yeah.
nowhere near here. I was going with Canelo in this fight. I was telling people I said I like Bud in a 12-round decision, and that what took place. I don't see Canelo. Canelo, even when he was fighting, people say, well, when he fought, Dimitri, your boy in New York, when he fought, damn, what the dude name, man? Just talking about who stepped down on Charlo, man. Daniels. When he was fighting Daniels, though. Canelo had heavy feet then, fool. Canelo ain't never showed me he was light on his feet. I ain't never met a Mexican was light on their feet. Them some big.
Well, when he was younger, he was a lot more.
When he was
He was a
fighting
lot more.
Floyd, he wasn't light on the feet. He was a great. He had pivot. He can
Did,
get in and out, but them feet was still kind of sluggish now. He ain't never
did you
showed
see
you
him
he was
fight?
light.
Did you see him fight Sugar Shane Mosley and shit? You know what I'm saying? You saw him fight Sugar Shane. You know what I'm saying? He had
Canelo,
more explosive. He had more explosiveness. He had
yes,
quicker
but
hands. Had faster hands. He had, with the speed comes more power. He was more sudden. He was just quicker. You know what I'm saying? So, and you saw how he knocked out Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? Just fast, loading up and being able to hit the target.
Amir
He was,
Khan never had no chin. Now, Amir
yeah,
Khan
but
chin was like
I'm
glass
just
choke
saying the
on him.
punch. I'm saying the punch, man. His punching ability, was there. Um, like I said, when he came against Austin Trout and Laura thinkers and boxers, he always had a problem with movers. Um, guys that boxed him, he always had issues with that.
And this
And that's why Mayweather said he's easy. You know what I'm
and
saying?
this
He's
what I
easy.
thought Charlo was gonna take advantage of, because I say Charlo is more fluid on his feet. He more, you know what I'm saying? He's more light on the feet. I didn't see Charlo putting power to him. You know what I'm saying? I thought
He
shit
got
the way.
psyched out. He got psyched. It's also a mental battle.
Yeah,
You
once
know,
he see that his power was ineffective, he ain't go to the boxing game. He supposed to just hit and get up out of there. Stay out of range so he can't hit you with that shit, and just pop, 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 get up out of there. Pop, 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 get up out of there. Sweet science. He ain't turned on, excuse me, he ain't turned on none of this shit, Pull. Charlo ain't turned
well,
on none of this
well,
shit.
one thing that Sean Porter said, he said Bud was talking to Canelo in that ring. He said he was talking to him. He was getting in his head. He was saying shit to him. He was sticking his tongue out at him. He was pissing Canelo
Smiling, all
off.
that, all type of shit.
Yeah, he was getting in his head. Anytime he hit him, he'll tell him if it was good or not. You know what I'm saying? Just doing all these little psychological, that's veteran shit. You know what I'm saying? That's that veteran shit, to dissuade you, and it was working. You saw him anytime he circled out, shaking his head. He was shaking his head. looking at him. You know what I'm saying? Just antagonizing him the whole
And
fight.
I want
Hmm.
to ask you a question though, Put, because a lot of people sincerity. I've been, hearing a lot of this, a lot of that. And I told the dude my opinion, but I want to ask you your opinion about Bud after this fight. Do you think this fight solidify him in the top 10 greatest of all time or the top 5?
I wouldn't say the top 10. Yeah, I think it's too many to mention. Henry Armstrong went many weight divisions up, and won the titles and championship. It was only one belt back then, so that's counted as undisputed. Um, you know what I'm saying? All this dividing the belts and stuff, that was just a recent thing. Back then they had one belt. So, if you won it, you was undisputed back then. So it's hard to say, put them in the top 10. It's been so many great fighters. It's crazy to put them in the top 10. That's ridiculous. Um, but as far as his accolades go, so that do kind of put him up there, what I'm saying, because of his accolades. Uh, Yeah, that would be a tough conversation. You have to talk to some boxing historians that know the accurate fighters and kind of put it side by side. You know, but that's hard to say. I would put them in the top, probably the top 50. You know what I'm saying? Because just
Top
because of
50,
lack of
Pud? God, come on, Pud. No,
man.
Pud,
Come
not
on,
the
think
top
about
50,
that. Think about that
50,
though. Think about
not
that.
even the top 20. You wouldn't even put him in your
But
top
think
20,
about think
greatest.
think about this. Think about what I'm saying.
I
Those
hear you
guys
about
went
that.
those guys went 15 rounds back then, dog.
Especially
You know what I'm
Murderous Road.
saying?
There's some fighters on Murderous Road,
Them guys
you know.
went and look who they fought. They fought killers. It wasn't no bullshit ass journeyman back then. You know what I'm saying? It's like them guys fought. They fought they fought guys that was trying to eat rabbit. They was trying to eat raw rabbit, nigga, back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
These niggas
and,
was
and
cooking
then back
rabbit and
then,
they were eating rabbit in the pot, nigga, back then. You know what I'm saying? This shit was real for them. You know what I'm saying? So they had a different kind of hunger back then. And the champions that they fought like guys who was just as tough as they were. You know what I'm saying? Every night you had imagine having to fight a Bud Crawford, just like you. Somebody just as hungry as you, just somebody just as tough as you, somebody who trained just as hard as you, somebody
every
who
other night.
every other night, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like, nah, I can't give them, top 10. You know what I'm saying? Maybe top 20, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It just depends who you look up and see what they done. Because you look at some of these guys, they fought 129 fights. You know what I'm saying? They got 68 KOs. And how do you measure that era versus this era? This era they only going, 60 fights. Hell,
If
Chavez
that.
had 80
If,
something fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of, it's difficult to say.
and motherfucker
It's difficult
Canelo
to
on
say.
about 65 already.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful at all. Come on now, you thinking about all the boxing. That's like think about basketball. You know what I'm saying? You can't really say Jordan is the top 10, the top. You can maybe put him in the top 10, maybe. But then you got to think about all the basketball greats that came along. You could put him there because he's just achieved some greatness right now. And we're looking at the moment that he's living in right now. But if you go back and you look at what those guys achieved, what I'm saying? You just don't, it's not on your mind. And some of it you don't even know. So we can't really say that I would have to say top 50, man. I would have to say top 50 because this is some amazing athletes, man, that just got shut out the game. There's a lot of athletes that a lot of boxers that didn't get a chance, what I'm saying, at the championships like that, but it was just all that. It's a lot of shit, man. It's a lot of shit that you got to go look up, what I'm saying, before you could put them in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. We talk about Joe Louis, what I'm saying? We talking Jack Johnson, what I'm saying? We talk about pound for pound, right? We talk about pound for pound. Now, if we talk about just his weight class, that's still kind of that's the, Sugar Ray Robinson, you got Floyd, you got it's a lot going on. You got to go look
See,
up and before you put him in.
those names you just mentioned, put in the top
Mhm.
10. Those names right there. You can stick all of them in the top 10. and still have room for Bud. And if we're
Well,
gonna
what
talk
I'm
about
trying to tell you, but
resume,
there's other names though that'll
I
fill
know,
that up pretty quickly before you get to
and this
Crawford.
and
Hmm.
this well this, I'm not a fan of Crawford, but his resume pull. It's
His
hard to critique.
well,
It's
his
hard to
resume
critique.
his resume ain't got nothing to do with it because his resume ain't
It
that
does.
shiny. It's him beating Canelo and EJ
And Spence,
is good, but it's his
great.
accolades that put him up there. And his accolades, you know what I'm saying? He's a
Those
three-time.
those part of the accolades though, when they asked who you fought, and when you had Canelo was just saying he ain't fought nobody, then went over there. You had EJ was saying the same thing. Flip EJ over.
But then
You had
y'all
Canelo.
keep harping on that, bro. What I'm saying is
I'm not
it's
hopping on the
not.
pull, but facts is facts. I'm a fan of EJ now. I ain't
It's a
sitting here.
fact out of context, though, is what I'm saying. You keep talking about fact. I could say this wall is white. That's a goddamn fact. But what I'm talking about? Why am I
But
talking
can the
about a
wall
white wall?
can the we talk about whooping ass though. We ain't talk about the color of a wall though. We talk
Yeah, but
about
what
a
I'm
dude.
saying, if you beat two people ass, right, and you get all the accolades in the world, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you got another guy that beat 10 people asses with more competition and more bigger names in it. Who's on top? And he don't get the accolades. He just win one undisputed. Who who
Okay.
who who is the better fighter?
Now when they speak of Floyd though, right? I'm gonna move the
Did you hear
goalpost
what I
from
just said? You know what
every
I'm saying?
every
Because he just went straight to the man. He didn't fight anybody inside the division to be. He just
for
went
this
straight
weight
to the
up.
top.
He just went, yeah, and
Yeah.
this the way some of these fighters was moving once they was the champ though. So if he get the same stick
Oh
to
yeah, I
move that
forgot
way,
seeing that. Let me get seeing Ironheart in here. Israel. I forgot he
go ahead.
just popped in. We going back and forth and stuff. What's going on, Sin?
What's good with
Sin.
it? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I was just listening to some of what y'all was saying. My man was cooking though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I look like y'all discussion was pretty healthy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really want to interject before I had put my little 2 cents on it on
Go
Saturday's
ahead, bro.
performance. Go ahead.
No, I thought you was gonna give your 2 cents.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure, man. As Crawford's #1 hater, nobody hates that motherfucker more than me. And pardon me for cussing on your platform. But it's Crawford's #1 hater, and I gladly own up to that shit. Uh, I think that yes, Saturday was honestly the first time that I seen some real intelligent boxing from him, and I feel like he rose to the occasion. I
Hmm.
don't want to take anything. I don't want to take anything from the opponent. I mean, from the win, but
Hmm.
some Crawford fans kind of make it hard for you to just give dude his credit.
They don't.
Um,
They want
you,
you to have like they want you to worship that nigga like God or something. Like, bro, you can't
you,
no blasphemy whatsoever, nigga.
straight up, and I just think that on some real shit, a lot of things that people ain't saying. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah, Canelo, we fuck with Canelo, great guy. This fight wasn't made because we couldn't find nobody to beat either of these motherfuckers. Realistically, both of them are running from somebody, and they found each other on the run from somebody. So to just
Like, who you
automatically
think
say
Crawford
that he's
running from?
top,
Saying who?
come on, man, let's not act silly now. Let's not act
I'm
silly,
not.
sir.
I'm not acting.
Let's
I'm
not
just
act silly,
asking.
sir.
I'm just. Well, wait. I'm not acting silly, bro. I just want to
Nah,
know
when
what
they
you
when they
think.
when they
nah.
mention
All right. So this is the thing, and I'm about to get to all that because all of this is gonna come full circle,
Okay.
right? So, why? But as far as who we running from, you got Canelo running from Benavidez, and you got Crawford running from Boots. Crawford vacated 3 belts and 2 weight divisions to run from Boots. I don't want to hear no bullshit saying otherwise.
Hey, I
This is
believe. I
exactly what
respect
the
what you
fuck happened.
believe. I respect it. I respect it. That's what you believe.
You know,
Okay. I hear you.
well, why else? I'm saying, did you see how quick he said no to the Boots, to the Boots response?
Well,
Y'all was all mad. I want to see him fight the sellout now. If you kicked old boy ass, I want to see you fight the sellout because y'all had a lot of energy for him helping Canelo. So I would. This is just one option that I would like to see, but to further go into my initial point,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that with Crawford in this win. I don't like that people are acting like Canelo was the gatekeeper for all-time great or anything like that. Like Canelo is a great talent, but no, he was not. Like it wasn't like this guy was Thanos clearing out divisions and nobody could beat this motherfucker. He moved up, running from fiercer competition at lower weight divisions, and just established
Mm-hmm.
himself at a heavier weight. So
Mm-hmm.
so to say, like, yeah, it was a great feat and a great performance for him to beat Canelo, but to try to put so much stock into it and to exalt him over Floyd or Sugar Ray or anybody who nailed down tracks for him to ride his new little train across is like, nah, that's blasphemous because the sport is way
Oh,
too healthy.
they're
Like,
gonna shit on Floyd. They're gonna shit on Floyd any chance they get. The industry
I mean,
hates
yeah,
Floyd.
true indeed. And Floyd makes it easy. Like Floyd is a coward as a man. Like at one time we used to see boxing champions as kind of like our superheroes. But when it come down to Floyd, it got real diva like. You know what I'm saying? Everything
Yeah.
was about material shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the premise that we ever put. Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier or anybody else that came from that cloth. We then equate them with just the material value of, what they were worth to the sport. So that's my gripe against with Floyd. But as far as Crawford goes, I don't like that they're trying to act like Canelo was really the god of boxing, that we couldn't find nobody to whoop his ass, knowing that Benavidez would whoop that ass for one, and we don't have to really see the fight for it to happen. But that's just my speculation. It looks like Benavidez would definitely give what's the name? It is the kryptonite for Canelo. But two, I don't like that Crawford, every time he gets a belt, or it seems like for him championship status, it, it it disallows him or alleviates him the responsibility of defending the belt. Every other champion, I mean, it used to be you weren't a champion until you defended your belts. Now, every time he gets a belt, everybody says, oh, he don't need to fight this person. He don't need to fight that person. I actually seen a motherfucker say, Jaron Ennis don't deserve to share a ring, don't deserve to share the ring with Terrence Crawford. Like he was a peasant or some shit. But at one time, Crawford ain't deserved to share the ring with Errol Spence. And he ain't deserved to share the ring with Canelo, to be honest, and they gave his ass a shot. So I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Like this man is supposed to have easy fights because
Kind
he
of
became a champion.
you couldn't even.
Oh, am I good now?
You
Yo,
good, you
yo.
good, you good.
I,
I mean,
I,
I hear what you say. I hear
yeah,
you. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, I hear you. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah,
was just saying that
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
like that, My fault. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But I disagree about the boot thing because I think Boots came in at the end. You know what I'm saying? I think he came. Now, could have fought Boots, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, because one side is saying this and the other side is saying that, and I don't know what's really true. Um, yeah, I think it was a podcast where Bud went on, and I think Boots called up on that podcast, and they talked to each other, and they said they accepted the fight and everything, and Boots was like he wasn't aware of. He said he sent it to his father and everything like that, and they were talking about it on the podcast. So I'm kind of
Right, right.
fuzzy on if Crawford. Look, this hear me out. I'm fuzzy on if Boots. I mean, if he really ducked Boots, or if it's just a seniority thing because Bud was looking for a bigger payday for bigger names, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he's an older guy, and the older guys don't want to break the new guys in. You know what I'm saying? They looking for the Errol Spence Juniors. You see how he's fighting. Why he fought Madronov, I do not know. At 154, I do not know. Um, I don't know. Maybe
Just
just to get a tune up. Maybe just to get a tune up. I don't think he care about Boots like that. Looking at how Crawford fought Canelo, and I know I don't think Canelo is this big bad wolf either. But you got to look at the weight classes that he came across. You got to look at the man's heart. So I do believe he would have fought Boots. I think he just didn't think Boot was worth the time. That's what I think is more of. Crawford is a warrior. And I'm like you. I feel like you about Crawford's career and the way he moved and all that stuff. But I have to look forward to how he's moving right now. And it comes a time when these fighters are looking. They want only big fights. They don't want to fight. They don't want to go through the divisions no more. They want to fight the names that are gonna get them the biggest payday, which is sad to me. That's sad. But I think that's what Crawford at in his. I think he came in 2008. That's a lot of years. He's trying to get the biggest money paydays right now, and that's what he's doing. That's how he's moving. So I don't think he's ducking Boots. I think he's just cherry picking big paydays. And
All
I
right,
think a
well,
lot
this
of
is my thing.
Mhm.
About the cherry picking paydays. Like, there's no way that could be true if he fought Israel Madrimov and David
I think that was a
Avanesyan
warm
before
up.
Errol
I think that,
Spence. You know,
I think that was a safe warm up tune up for
right?
him.
So now let's look at where we at today. So today we have a situation where, yeah, we're saying 3 times undisputed, but like you said, we can't, for a man who hasn't cleared a division or crushed the egos of the up and coming contenders, like, you're not a champion until you defend your belts. That's just it. And that's how I am with everybody. That's how I was raised. That's how I was raised to know boxing and every other competition sport. You was
Right.
not a champion until you defended your belts. So for him to hold more belts, or for him to touch more metal than RoboCop, damn near on any fucking front that we could think of, but for him to never have a solid title defense and him to never have been the A side in a situation, like, it's like now people want to say he's a face of boxing or whatever, but you've never been the benefactor in the situation where you fought and tried to keep everything that you earned. You were always embarking on an opportunity, kind of, question somebody else's hard work when they went and fought 3, 4, 5 champions, and then he gets 400 times the credit for just being somebody to derail somebody who was on a hot streak. It's always going to be somebody that's going to derail somebody on a hot streak. So to give
Mhm.
all of this tremendous credit and then alleviate him the responsibility of, like somebody said in the chat earlier, which I agree, he did beat Canelo clearly. So nah, it don't need a rematch. But if Canelo wants to exercise it, he does have the authority to do that, for one, because he gave Crawford that opportunity. And if we
Mhm.
say that and if we say that he doesn't deserve the rematch, and then we did the same thing with Errol Spence, now what type of space are we creating for people to become champions, but to only be able to target easy fights and not to even honor a rematch with the people that they've derailed, or even fight a level competitor that's alongside the person that they just derailed? That's a very slippery slope, and I don't want to see those type of I don't want to see a champion or nobody gain a fucking belt, and I have a list of fighters that I know that they won't fight. When I see
Yeah.
champions,
Yeah.
yeah, when I see champions, I'm thinking of motherfuckers who will beat damn near anybody that you put up at the top of that hill. It's the person who plays King of the Hill the best,
Right.
and not
And
not grab the belts and vacate. You can't. I'm saying I
see,
can't give you credit for that.
right. And see what you're saying is you're talking about you're a real boxing fan. You a traditional boxing fan, and what we're doing is we're seeing boxing change. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is changing more for the prize fighter style. People are just going for the big money, a lot of these companies like PBC, promotional companies, top rank, the money is getting lower and lower. They're drying out. So now these fighters are, you saw Oscar De La Hoya, you saw Golden Boy, you saw him lose half his stable to the PBC. You know what I'm saying? These fighters are floating around, you know what I'm saying, and they're trying to go to where the money is. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about the hierarchy in boxing, the divisions, the number one contender. Nobody cares about that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to. You see Teofimo Lopez, he's looking for big event fights. You know what I'm saying? They hide behind these belts. You know what I'm saying? They go up there and they grab a belt and they hold on to that shit until they could get a name that they think they can look good against. It ain't like you were just talking about, Sin, where you go through the division, you beat the best guy, and you become the man, and then you defend that shit against somebody, a challenger. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to go up to the next level, the next weight class, and fight a name up there. If there's a name up there to where they can make, 2 or 3 million more dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing right now. And the shit suck. It sucked, but it's working for, the Crawfords of the world. It's working for, guys who got the talent to move up and beat pretty much anybody that they face, because it's kind of a mediocre landfill right now. It's kind of you don't have them crazy killers up there, lurking at middleweight. You don't have the Bernard Hopkins, what I'm saying? You don't have the Roy Jones Jr. waiting for you. Because, Canelo waited for 168 to kind of clear out. And he waited for David Benavidez to lose his belt before. That's the shit that really sucked. He waited for David Benavidez to lose his belt. You know what I'm saying? Before he went up to 168. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Right.
it's an evil, what's that boy name? Say it's an evil world we live in. It's an evil world we live in, bro. The way they doing things right now. But it's perfect for somebody like Crawford with the cachet that he has, right? Um, you know, he was able to go up there and do what he did, shock the world, and I take my hats off to him. But we gotta get this thing back in order. We got to get it organized again, so we can
Back
kind
in
of keep
order.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we can
well,
keep
that's a
up with
fact.
what's going on. And it's just like when a special fighter comes along like Canelo, what I'm saying, and he takes control of boxing the way he did, that's just kind of put boxing in a tailspin. He gets to pick who he wants, he gets to control it. When we saw Triple G and Canelo get those big multi-million dollar deals, that just put us in a tailspin for a whole 5 or 6, 7 years, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? They tied up a lot of shit for 8, 10 years. Once they got those multi-fight deals, they can fight whoever they want. That put them in their own little cocoon. You know what I'm saying? And that just kind of messed up the middleweight division for a lot of years, right? And
Yeah,
and it gave people the mindset like Keith Thurman. He fight once every 3 years. Um, it just kind of gave breed to a whole. See, other boxers look at other boxers and see what they're doing. So if you fight once every 2, 3 years, you're preserving your body. So you can go out there and make you a few million when you come back. And so you go back and chill on your money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, it's just kind of ugly the way they got boxing right now. Um, right now boxing is, yeah, I think it's starting to come back. You know what I'm saying? I think I've seen Virgil Ortiz, I'm seeing the young guy Shushu, Abdullah Masons. I think it's gonna come back full circle once we get rid of the legends and all that. Once they done tied up, they done made all the accolades they want to make. I think it'll come back. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are not stars yet. Keyshawn Davis, he's not a star yet. Abdullah Mason's not a star yet. What's that little dude under Mayweather? He's not a star yet, but something tells me he's going to be a little
yeah.
star.
Nah,
Cool
he
Mo,
ain't gonna be a star if he's underneath Floyd, because Floyd ain't never
uh,
gonna let nobody outshine him. I think Floyd is a very jealous. I think Floyd is the worst decision that any young talent could make to get underneath, because he's
but the
still in
training,
competition with the
but
young
look here,
talent.
but look here, the training though in that gym, the Jeff
If that
Mayweather.
man ain't making none
You
of
know what I'm
his
saying?
kids no warriors, then ain't no way I'm gonna trust that man with his motherfucking training. It should be a Mayweather Jr. in there right now. How
Oh,
am I
you
gonna
see
trust
him?
this nigga?
You
I ain't.
seen him with his grandson. It's the grandson already
Then
punching
how
and
you
shit.
gonna skip this? How the son's gonna be bitches and you gonna make the grandson a warrior? Like,
Hey,
like
maybe
this
he don't
nigga's
see.
sons.
You know how it is. Sometimes your kids don't have it. They got that soft shit in them. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hey yo, nah, cause look, on the flip side, Anderson Silva, know what I'm saying? If anybody watch
yeah,
MMA, Anderson Silva, one of the most respected figures, all his kids box. All his, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
All his
yeah, but
kids are involved in martial arts. Like, you ain't got to make them all world champions, but they
right.
got to at least be stand-up guys and know how to, know how to throw their hands, at least resemble your father in some way. Don't just be the school kid, you know what I'm saying, that got the security and all that bullshit, but that's just
Did
me. I
Jordan,
don't
did
think
Jordan
that Floyd
kids,
is.
hey,
Go
did
ahead.
Jordan
Go
kids,
ahead,
could
bro.
they play? Did Jordan kids do anything in the NBA?
Hey, no, another sorry ass father. You know what I'm
That's what I'm just saying.
saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I
Sometimes
mean,
they just don't have it,
I
bro.
mean, maybe they did
Sometimes,
something in some. I think that in combat sports, it's a different story because as a man, you know that we all supposed to know how to defend ourselves to some degree.
that
Everybody's
nigga
supposed to
don't.
know how to hold their own. So to
That
be
nigga don't even look like Jordan. I like shit. That's your son, boy. You sure? No. I'm like, nigga, you look like Teddy Pendergrass' son or some shit. You know what I mean?
as a fact,
But
as a
it's
fact.
that nigga do not look like Jordan. God damn it. You know, all you could tell LeBron kids look like him. You know, they already got bald spots. He says,
Stupid.
respect. He says respect to. He says respect to Bud Crawford for an amazing performance. He says respect for Canelo for giving Bud the opportunity. He says he says every through he thought every what
Even
thought
though
shit.
he thought he meant even
Oh,
though. My fault.
okay. Even though he thought shit was sweet, he still took the risk. I hear you, Eric. He says Pat showed says Pat saw Mobile Lester today. That fight was fire, bro. I like that. I like that Martinez kids. I know what Mobile do, but I like that kid. That Lester kid wasn't. He was giving it. He was giving it. You know what I'm saying? Them uppercuts and shit, man. He was cool under pressure. I like that kid, man. I think he's gonna go places. He says, sometimes the gift skips a generation. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he
That's a
says
fact.
get
But like I said, you ain't got to
somebody
be
down
world champion. You
there.
know, like you like at least damn nigga bite a motherfucker, pinch him, something. Know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you just can't go and just have no harmless ass kids and then make your grandkid carry your legacy. Like man, come on now. I don't know. That's just me, man, and that's my critique of Floyd. I don't like Floyd on no level. I don't respect him. Like
No,
aside
I
from
understand.
his
I
abilities in the
understand.
ring,
I
I
understand.
think as
Mike
a
Tyson
man,
hate it
yeah,
too.
he really fucked up the sport.
Yeah, Mike Tyson hate that nigga too. Boy, I like this. Them boys,
It's a fact.
Mike, they go back, boy. He said, did you see Crawford say Mayweather beat Canelo on a catch weight and rehydration clause on or Aaron why you say that show? Bud talking shit. Hey, everybody talk shit about Bud. Bud is the standard. You know what I'm saying? Don't be insulted by that because Bud is the standard. If they talking about not Bud, but Mayweather.
Nah. He's saying
Yeah,
that Bud talking shit about Floyd, about
yeah,
Floyd's performance against Canelo. Like people
yeah.
acting like Crawford beat him better than Canelo. Like nah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the bullshit that they put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they always try to fuck with Mayweather, even though he ain't even here in the building. You know what I'm saying? They always try to shit on Mayweather somehow. But Mayweather ain't got nothing to prove. He's already retired. Once you retired, you know, that was a Canelo last shot at Mayweather for beating his ass. You know what I'm saying? Bud is better than Mayweather. They're in two different eras. So you really can't really compare eras, tell you the truth. And I'm not trying to protect Mayweather. I'm just saying I think Mayweather resume speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? And the guys he fought and what he had to do, to get to where he was, right? Um, Bud Crawford didn't have the same path as Crawford. He didn't have the names and the Oscar De La Hoyas and the top guys that Mayweather had to cross his pretty boy Floyd. So it's kind of hard to compare eras, right? If you try to compare the Bulls of today and the Bulls of Michael Jordan time, it's kind of hard to do that. It's kind of hard to do that because back then, they were hand checking, they were fouling. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot more physical game. It was a different game, back then. So it's hard to compare eras. But I do give Floyd, you know, all the credit in the world for what he did.
no,
What's going on,
we can
Johnny?
compare. My fault,
Go ahead.
brother.
No, I was just
Nah, I was
calling
gonna
that Johnny Ringo. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, nah, we can compare that shit, you know what I'm saying? And I would say to that comparison that when Floyd was 20-0, we knew who the fuck Floyd was.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Floyd was. You know what I'm saying? It took Crawford 40-0 to just get to the big leagues. You know what I'm saying? So and that wasn't because no promoters was holding him back. At some point, like
Well,
I personally
Floyd
feel
was
like
at top rank. Floyd was at top rank himself.
Exactly. And at some point, he got away from him and got 10 times bigger than Top Rank would
He
have
brought
ever
out his
been willing to make
contract. He brought out his contract for $700,000.
him. He knew to get away from that old Jew, that old fake Jew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Crawford sat there, let that old man say, fuck Bud's legacy. Like, that was the most disrespectful shit I could hear an old man ever say to, to anybody, let alone an actual fighter. He let that old man say, fuck his legacy and still re-signed the deal to him. So it was something that you was evading, or obviously it wasn't bad enough over there because you thought you could be the token brother that could, ride that wave. And,
Mhm.
I still, it backfired at the end of the day, but I feel like Bud has just gotten to the big leagues. Like, it ain't no legacy to compare to Floyd or nothing like that. We still got to see what he does. We still got to see him defend the fucking belt.
Yeah.
Defend the undisputed. I want to see a dude defend 4 belts, not just get them. I want to see him defend 4 belts or go, honor a rematch or something. I don't know.
Oh, they
Something
don't
like
do
that.
that no more. They don't do that no more. It ain't even. They don't do that no more unless the next guy that's under them going to get them paid. You know what I'm saying? Some real
We seen
money.
Beterbiev do it. Beterbiev and Bivol just did it. We seen Tony Harrison do it when he whooped
Yeah. What's
Jamal
the what's what's the one
Jamel
difference?
Charlo ass.
What's the one difference that you see? You just mentioned all the what? What's the
What's
one
that?
thing that's them white guys doing that?
No,
That's them
I
white.
just said Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo. Tony Harrison, we know that Jamel Charlo more dangerous, and
Well,
and Tony Harrison.
Jamel Charlo, Jamel Charlo, you see what he looking like now, right? You see what he doing now. He doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He's just going for big money after he fought Canelo. That was he 2-year layoff. Yeah,
Nah, those call outs were legitimate fights. The damn he called out Boots. Those are dangerous niggas. He called out Spence. Those are
well,
dangerous,
that's now.
legitimate
I
fights.
mean, that's now. I mean, he don't have, that's now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much more Jamil got in his tank. I don't know how much more Spence got in his tank. I would love to see him fight Boots. That would be a damn good fight. Yeah, that would, if he could come back. I don't know if he's real talk about fighting Boots. He haven't had a tune up yet. Um, I don't know, man. It's like we got to
Yeah,
see. You
that
got to see.
man had a
He got to
lion with
prove.
a pair of boots in his mouth.
Jamel got to prove some shit to me after that damn Canelo performance. You know what I'm saying? He got to.
He ain't come to beat Canelo, man. He was happy to be in the ring with him. That man looked like he wanted to hug Canelo after that damn after they was
Yeah,
calling him a
of that
fight. That man,
money. Because of that damn
like,
money, man. It's that
yeah,
goddamn
man. So we can't judge him based on that because we know nobody else is going to provide that same opportunity. The next version of Jamel that we about to see is going to be the most hyper aggressive Jamel that
You
we ever
believe
seen because everybody's talking that shit about him.
you believe that, huh? Yeah. You think he's okay?
Look, he can't afford to not show up on the next one go round. You know what I'm saying? Like you just showed up half ass on your biggest payday or your biggest opportunity. So if you're going to continue to do this shit and keep your core fan base at least, you got to make those motherfuckers happy. He can't not show up his next fight.
Well, we don't know if that's gonna. Cause I hear from what I hear, he's in talks with Spence right now.
And
So
that's a dangerous fight. And Smith's gonna beat the living shit out of him. I don't care what nobody say.
yeah, that's my boy right there. He says Mayweather,
Yeah.
unlike Oscar, Mayweather, Eric R says Mayweather, unlike Oscar, allowed his opponent to pick the weight. He says only thing you can trip on Mayweather for doing is what he paid his opponent. He said that was the only thing you could negotiate. Well, because once you fight Mayweather, if you beat him, look at Canelo. He became the face of boxing, and he lost and became the face of boxing. Anytime you get in the ring with Mayweather, he make you a star. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly.
I'm saying though, but Canelo kind of got, you already know Canelo got the country behind him. You know, the Mexican support
Mhm.
they own. You know what I'm saying? So like they got half their country behind him. Canelo got to do half the work that a black boxer has to does. You see how long Deontay Wilder was knocking niggas the fuck out. He never had half the country behind him.
Yeah, they was against him. As soon as
You know what I'm saying? So
soon
it's
as they
like,
got
but
them white heavyweight champion that could deal 6'9", white heavyweight champion. They were all, even America was behind Fury. You know what I'm saying? That was
You see what I'm saying? Like, so
that was
it's like,
embarrassing.
we when we say that face of boxing shit, it's like some people. I think that Tank got a much bigger stake because Tank has to really garner, and I think all the black fighters, we don't have our country behind us. We always got to
Right.
go against a portion of the country is always against us at the same time. Mexicans don't have to worry about that. Cubans don't have to worry about that, and that ain't no hate to them. But I'm just
Right.
saying our plight is a little different to garner and keep fans
But my
in
thing,
these combat sports.
but isn't it amazing how much of an impact Mayweather has had on the sport? Because they still talk about this guy. You know what I'm saying? They still talking about him. So he's the
But
standard, bro.
but in the same respect, bro, he should be opening that platform up. Like Mayweather Promotions is supposed to have more than one star than Tank. He attached himself to Tank because Tank was going to be big regardless. He knew Tank was going to be bigger than him, and he stifled Tank's career. And now he about to do the same thing to Carmel Moten and any other young talent that he get because Floyd is an ego fucking maniac. Like I don't know how people don't see it. That man is like, yo, he's a diva, man. He ain't built on man principles.
Yep.
That's why he
Yep.
want to do that exhibition. You know what I'm saying, to try to steal Tank's spotlight because right now Tank got the show, So
Now it's going to be interesting if they run this shit back, don't you think?
if they run what back,
If Bud and Canelo run this thing back, you know what I'm saying? It would be
I would respect Bud a little bit more if he ran it back with somebody. Like it's like you can't do Spence and Canelo like that. You got to run it back with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I would respect it if he did that, and that would show a little bit more heart than I ever gave him credit for. So, um, yeah, I think that would be dope. It don't need to happen because he definitely beat him clearly last Saturday. So
I thought I went
it,
back. I don't watch that damn fight about 5 or 6 times, and Crawford definitely won every time that I watched it.
look,
You
I hate that motherfucker, and I
know.
had him up like 8, 9. I had him up. You know what I'm saying, by like 4 rounds. So
Mm.
it wasn't nothing I could give Canelo, and I ain't no biased dude. Like at the end of the day, I just want to see intelligent boxing. My only criticism against Crawford, my main criticisms against Crawford, aside from being affiliated with Victor,
Victor Conte.
it right. That's always going to be a
Did you watch?
major.
Did you watch Monty program this afternoon? Did you watch?
Yeah,
About
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was in. I was in. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I saw
That,
a
that,
good
that boy
portion
be
of it.
killing, but he be killing me with that shit till my snack works.
Hey, yo, man, he had the boy. You see the death threats that he was getting in the damn chat.
Yes, sir. They talking about
Yo, them boys was
the streets.
wilding today, man.
They're talking about the streets looking for him. I was like, bro, over a fighter, over an
Like,
opinion.
yo, yeah, we
That
got
nigga better
you know what I'm
go out.
saying? We got bullets
I
with your
dare
name on
say
it.
that nigga about to go out like Charlie Kirk and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hey,
God
yo,
damn.
nah, niggas ain't about to do no sucker shit. Like, yeah, niggas
I'm
better
just
not. You know what I'm saying?
saying. I'm just the
But
way
niggas
they be
will,
coming
yeah.
at you. And, the way
Shit,
they talking about they can't, like they hunting for him and shit. I'm like, come on, y'all that
that's some
serious?
sucker shit, yo. Like, y'all gonna fight for somebody harder than that nigga fight for himself. Like, man, fuck out of here with that.
Right,
Like,
right. It's like get off that kind of shit. They're gonna slide for Bud Crawford. Come on, bro. Stop.
just
You know what I'm
because niggas
saying?
making observations. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, niggas is just addressing the elephant in the room. It's just crazy how guilty, how guilty motherfuckers act. Like,
Mm-hmm. Eric Carr said he called out Spence with Spence being out the ring almost 3 years. He said that's weak. He said he needs to be active fighters, and I think that should be. I think that should be a rule. You know, what I'm saying that they come up with that you got to come off a win. You got to come off a fight. Like I think he should have fought EJ after Ugas, but I think they knew he would be undisciplined. He's weak. He's weak in between fights, just like Duran, just like Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray knew that Duran would blow up and eat. You know what I'm saying? After he fight, he blows up after fights, and that's why he called for that rematch immediately because he knew. I think Duran blew up to like 200 or something pounds, and of course, he got his little agents. All these fighters could pay for a little information. You know what I'm saying, to see what's going on with. Oh, this nigga 200 pounds. Okay, rematch. You know what I'm saying? Let's get him back in
Yeah.
the ring. You know what I'm
Right, but
saying?
I'm indifferent about that because I feel like I feel like when like we just seen Gary Russell put on impressive performance after his layoff, and we see plenty of fighters put on impressive performance after they lay off. Like at the end of the day, uh, the fans only see them on fight night. Like we don't know what type of gyms. Like I be in gyms all the motherfucking time. You know what I'm saying? With all sorts of people. Like I can't document and cut on the camera every time. That I'm in here working with motherfuckers, training with whether I'm training somebody or damn doing my own thing. Like I just you can't capture it all. And there's a lot of shit that we don't see. The training is harder than the fight. At least it's supposed to be. So
Well,
we
that's what
don't
Danny
get
Garcia. That's what Danny Garcia said. He said, he said it ain't the fight itself. He said it's the damn sparring. It's the getting prepared. You know what I'm saying? Taking the blows from different sparring partners. That shit weigh you down, bro. You
and
know what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
fighters, yeah, and a lot of fighters they spar way too hard. Like a lot of people just take pride in hard sparring, but sparring is supposed to hone functionality beyond the point of exertion. Your rounds are supposed to be longer than the actual fight, and you're not supposed to get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? You can get rattled, but niggas supposed to work beyond that rattling point. You know what I'm saying? If you sitting there getting knocked out, you ain't developing you're not processing the errors that you're making in
Mm,
mid fight. Not to half the degree as like you're supposed to get comfortable inside of a burning building, and combat is the burning building. So the longer that
right.
round is going to do you much better going at a 50-60%, or just going at that point that tests your threshold. But niggas is not supposed to be in here getting dropped, knocked out every fucking week, going hard as possible. If you worried about your opponent or you worried about your sparring partner killing you, how are you going to process and articulate everything from a more composed state? You're not really
Mm.
going to get it like that.
Look like Fundora is becoming he's coming a man that that he's the measuring stick at 154. Because Eric, you want to see Mel looking for Fundora, Ortiz, and Boots. He says when he's dominated at 154, it wasn't as deep as it is now. He says so. Don't pretend like you are above reclaiming your division. And but right now, I think Mel just wants some big money fights. We'll see if he can reclaim that lion, that lion spirit that he was.
He did call out Fundora. He did say he would fight Fundora, didn't he? He ain't say
Yeah,
he would
he
fight
said
Fundora.
no. Yeah, the giraffe. He had the lion with the giraffe head in his mouth.
Yeah,
It's
right. So yeah, Fundora's a good fight, man. Fundora uses reach very well in the last fight, man.
he sure did
I
that
think,
jab. Man. He was killing my boy with that
and
jab.
people are trying to act like Tim Tszyu didn't do his thing. Like Tim Tszyu did everything the fuck that he could. You know what I'm saying? Just Fundora was just putting too much fucking pressure on him with that damn jab. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he was hitting with them straight punches all damn night. And
Mm,
at some point, like, yo, the shorter man just gonna break down when the long man. That's what Deontay Wilder needs. That's Deontay Wilder's problem. He don't have no motherfucking jab, and I always trash Malik Scott for that. Like when you got the longest fighter in possibly in boxing, and you don't put the fundamental punch that is going to cater to all of his success inside the damn ring. That like you don't do that with tall fighters, man.
yeah,
Deontay needs that jab, and if he don't show up with that jab, he don't need to fight
but
ever
at,
again.
at this point in the game, it's too late. What I'm saying? He's not going to fight another way. I've seen him. I've seen him trying to do different techniques. Saying once you get hit in the mouth, like Tyson said, everything goes out the window, and you just go with what you know. And that's what I see from Deontay. He's just too old for it now to change. Eric
Same
Ross
thing.
says,
Ryan did the same thing though. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryan not having a jab, he ain't know how to after that left hook was gone, he ain't know how to articulate himself in the ring.
yeah, I mean,
And Rolly was able to dictate that conversation. If niggas get the fundamentals back in, and I know
and
Derrick James
if
was
you
so
let
frustrated.
Rolly beat you, bro, it's like, come on, man. It's
But
like
Rolly dangerous. That's what people. Why are people saying that? Like Rolly ain't dangerous. Like
nobody is
Rolly
saying he
makes
ain't
mistakes.
dangerous. he just don't have the best boxing, a bit, technique.
Fundamentals.
Yeah, that's all. Say once he took that, see, all Ryan got is that damn left hook. You know what I'm saying? It's like once he stopped that, that's all he looked out for, and he was able to hit him. Because they say Rolly hit like a damn dump truck. You know what I'm saying? They say that boy got serious power. You know.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah,
So
when that motherfucker come in there, he's
sound like a
knocking.
damn dirt bike.
Eric says, I agree. There's no more Mayweather promotion shouldn't have been as big as Golden Boy back then and top rank now. He says he totally ruined the businessman portion of his career. And
Yep.
let's see. See, my people be knowing their shit up in here, man. It's like he said till Devin or Boo Boo gets consecutive KOs, he said Snacks would never be investigated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're part of boxing right now. They're all in it together. He says Ramon said the last fight was a masterclass. They are not on the same level. See, we got to stop. We got to stop.
Who masterclass? Who did the masterclass? They
Look,
say Crawford did. Crawford had a
look,
masterclass.
look. When we start matching up fighters, we got to stop giving the guy we think gonna win the fight, but they got to get in the ring first. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes guys just got your number. It may not be, it may not be that guy's fight. I mean, night. You know what I'm saying? That night. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, a guy looks good, like you might do good against Canelo, but shit, look how he looked against Maginot. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to quit with this. He gonna destroy Boots and all that. And Boots is growing. He's getting better every day. So we don't know what the hell Boots is working on. Maybe he's trying to close up. Trying to start getting hit by that overhand right. You know what I'm saying? When he goes in for the knockouts, stop going in for the knockout so recklessly, and that's going to make him a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? So he says, so the boxing team responsible is to pick their fight strategically. That means timing too. That's what's going on right now. We got too much of that shit. He says, Spence hasn't looked good in a fight since Algeria. Man, come on,
Oh
man.
Lord, put that motherfucker in timeout.
Wait a minute. I thought he looked good with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, I think that was before. I think Algeria was before Mikey Garcia fight. He looked good
Yeah,
during the Mikey Garcia fight. I think Kell Brook was before Algeria. No, that was after Algeria.
hasn't looked good, and compared to who? Like he's been beating. Like if he beat the shit out these dudes, he did retired Mikey Garcia.
I think he looked good when he fought Kell Brooks. Kell Brook was strong as shit, man.
Looked good when he
Kell
fought
Brook
Ugas.
and Kell Brook had that jab too, man. That motherfucker had a jab out this world, man. To be your first championship title, you know what I'm saying? That was pretty good for a young guy. And he had a 9-month layoff. You know what I'm saying? Coming off a 9-month layoff on that one. So Spence always had this shit where he was outside the ring too long, you know, spending too much time outside the ring before for a big fight, but that's just the way his career went. He said, I love Spence, man, but I was there when he fought Ugas. He said, I'm a believer there's something wrong the night he fought Terrence. Me too. I think something was wrong, but that ain't Terrence's fault. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come, so you gotta come, the best way you can and just give it your all. He says, I'm not saying he wouldn't have lost, but I didn't see that fire in him. And who knows what, that's what I'm saying. You just got to, hopefully you get the best version of the fighter in the ring, you know what I'm saying? And Spence went through the grinder, man. He went through, 2 car accidents, not just one. He went through 2. It wasn't reported on the second one what
Yeah,
the hell happened.
exactly. I almost feel like that nigga was assassinated. Yeah, I feel like they was trying to take that nigga out. Yeah, they said that was a young boy,
Well,
like a 14-year-old
with him,
kid.
with him hanging out with the gangsters, the little local gangsters, Mo 3, and he getting mixed up with Yellow Beezy, and not hanging out with Mo 3. I think he was on the other side. I think Yellow Beezy and trying to be in their world, kind of got him effed up. He says we know Gary, Shakur, Keyshawn, and Bud lived the fighter style. Yeah,
Nah, I
yeah.
don't know that. I don't know
I
that. I
think I
know that
think
that's what's
Gary Gary
portrayed.
Gary You talking about Gary. Gary come from that boxing family. Shakur,
Gary
he's
does.
always camp. I don't know about Keyshawn, but Bud definitely. You know what I'm saying? So
But
maybe
man,
Keyshawn. I don't
Gary, that man got an obese trainer, man. I don't take that shit serious. That's what I'm talking about. Niggas be
know.
how am I supposed to take you? Man, look. Go
I
go
mean, we
ahead,
don't.
brother. I
I
didn't mean to
don't
cut
know.
you
I
off.
don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody knows unless you
I
follow
just
them around. Unless you follow them around, or you're looking at looking at how they, what I'm saying, how their body is from day to day. But Keyshawn seems like he's staying in shape. You know what I'm saying? He always looking like he's getting better too. I know he ain't fighting the best guys in there, but I would love to see him fight Andy Cruz. Right? I would like to see him and Andy
yeah, for sure.
definitely get it on. That's his rival. If he keep trying to downplay Andy Cruz, but Andy Cruz gonna come up and beat his ass if keep playing. He says that's a good question, man. Uh, he says Pat, are they talking to each other? And Eric I says Derek James slacking on his Mac, and he said if I was him, I'd be on the horn trying to pry Fundora away from his team. You can't do that. You can't do that. He says, I imagine Fundora big ass fighting like a giant EJ. I don't know what happened between those two, but it was always money. It's always money involved. But it looked like when Ryan Garcia and AJ came into the camp, looked like that caused a problem. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
why I feel like I feel like I feel like Charlo's loss might be connected to that too, man, because that was literally the friendliest version of Charlo I've ever seen in the ring. And it's
Yeah.
like, come on, back to back. I
Did
almost
he
feel
train
like
him for
not so
that
much
fight?
to sabotage Derek. My fault.
Did
Go ahead.
Derek train him for that fight, or was it the other guy?
Yeah. That's the last fight with Derek James. It was, but that was, behind that was right behind the Spence. But not right behind the Spence fight, but yeah, following up to it. That was Crawford's.
Yeah,
That was a Charlo's next fight. So
because
I
he said,
almost feel like it was some backdoor shit going on that we never know until for years down the line everything that was
yeah,
going on at the time of this shit going on. But we know there's some funny shit going on at the end of the day.
no doubt. He said, Doc Kid says, I'm sorry, Pool. I don't believe Boots can beat Bud and we get embarrassed. It could be. I could be that it could go that way. I could see that going that way, but we don't. I think Boots is getting better every day. I think he's hungry. I think he's still got a lot to learn. But say give that man the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I know people saying that Boots turned down the fight. But I don't, when you hear this shit, you don't know which way to go with it because you don't know what really went down. Because you'll hear it one day it'll come out this way and then another day it come out another way. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't know what to think when it comes to that. And in the end, it's all about business anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think none of these guys are afraid to get in the ring with each other. I just think, they're it's a business situation. Because you could give somebody a contract, but you don't know what's in the contract, right? You don't know how much money they're offering. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if there's a weight clause in that thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on with that contract. So, you could offer anybody a contract or offer, but you just don't know what's in the details and stuff. So the devil is in the details when you offer somebody something. Like when Eddie Hearn offer a contract, you know what I'm saying? It don't have the fighter that you want to fight name on it. It just have you signing up with the company so they could put Dwight Derek, what's his name? They always try to put him on Derek White. What is his name?
James.
No, the heavyweight that just lost. White. They always try to put White on
Dylan
Wilder.
White.
They never put AJ name on the contract because that's why Wilder
Mhm.
turned down that hundred and whatever 16 million dollar contract. It wasn't a guarantee that he was going to fight AJ. They was gonna do him just like they did Boo Boo. You know what I'm saying? Just like the zone did Boo Boo. They put him right there on the shelf and start fighting some bullshit fights, and he never got to fight Canelo. Just signed him up with Matchroom and just let him sit there. He thought he was gonna fight Canelo. I remember that embarrassing moment. He went in there to poke his chest out, talking about, man, I want to fight Canelo. Where you?
Mhm.
That shit was embarrassing. It's like, nigga, you old now. It's like now you going in there speaking up for yourself. You should have been doing that 6 fights ago. It's like, come on, man. It's like, what is wrong with these fighters? He says, Doc, I agree. He says, Eric, that's a fact. He said, it would be a good watch. I just think Terrence makes less mistakes, you know. So, but Boots, he's getting there. He's getting there. He got had, even if he take a loss.
Man, Bruce will beat the shit out of that dude, man. Like niggas
Mm.
said, like yo,
Well,
chill, chill. Like I
what I'm
mean,
saying,
I ain't even saying I ain't even saying
even,
you. I'm talking like everybody acting like this dude like Crawford is so far ahead of Boost. Like fuck out of here. Boost is trying to make the fight. Crawford's going the other way, and it's for a fucking reason. It ain't like it- it- I mean, I don't know how much more people need to see. I don't know why we need to see somebody get mauled every time in order to know that they at least that they know that a fight is not happening for a reason, for a legitimate reason. I know you said that you don't think that a lot of fighters is scared of each other, but man, that's not fucking true, man. These dudes be knowing where their limits are, and it could be timing. Like some people are high risk, very, very high risk, low reward. Boots is a high risk, low reward. That is not your biggest payday because you would be pulling him up and giving him the opportunity in most cases. But at the end of the day, niggas know before we know what a threat is in boxing, but way before they make it to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? We just want to see how they match up against a certain caliber of competition, you know?
well, I mean, all you can do, you can't just count them out before they get in the ring. Is all I'm saying. You can say what you want. Fighters are out there trying to, study you. Just like Crawford, took a year out to study Canelo, study your strengths, your weaknesses, and they trying to figure out how to take all that shit away.
Yeah,
So until they get into the ring, because you could be on one level one day, but then give you 6 weeks of training with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And picked up a couple of things that's going to help you out. So I don't count nobody out, but I think you learn more from a loss than a damn win. So even if he got in there with
exactly.
Crawford, it'll make him a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get mauled or some shit, unless you get injured or something. So it'll make him a better fighter. You got to fight those kind of fights to get better. Yeah,
Exactly.
look at Lester Martinez. He just fought M. Billy. He learned a lot from that fight. The next time you see that boy, he's going to be a whole lot better. That Lester Martinez kid, that was a good experience for him. I think young fighters need those kind of fights. They don't need these little pity pat fights where they knocking out everybody.
Straight up.
hmm Did you say says you said a lot of people say Spence look back, but Spence just didn't take care of himself, man. You know what I'm saying? Spence he just didn't lead that fighter lifestyle that he should, and
Nah,
then he had
something else happened that night, man. It wasn't that had nothing to do with the fight. It's something that's not being spoken on that took place that night. Victor Conti said out of his own mouth not to take anything from Crawford. Like he started with that asterisk. And said that something was wrong with Spence that night. Spence allegedly had altitude training. He ain't even alleged. I'm allegedly. But he
well,
said Spence
it
had
wasn't
altitude
smart.
training
It
and he
wasn't
was
smart
sick.
for him. It wasn't smart for him to run up that mountain in that hot ass sun. You know what I'm saying? Trying to drop them pounds. See, Spence had a bad habit of sucking himself down at the last minute, thinking he can go out there and depleting himself. You know what I'm saying? In the strenuous weather. You know what I'm saying? When you got a big
I
fight,
mean,
you
but
got
nobody from Spence's team confirmed that though. This is something that
no.
Crawford's
I
team
saw I
said.
saw the footage. I saw the footage of him
Right,
running.
right. This is
He
okay. No doubt, no doubt. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and yeah, that's real. You know what I'm saying I just recovered from heat stroke. You know what I'm saying
mhm.
twice in a month. No, twice in two
and
months. So
and another thing that worked against Spence was that they trained too hard. Like you were saying, they sparred too hard. They spar like
mm,
they in the fight. And that's how he hurt his eye for the Pacquiao fight. That's how he ended up fucking that up. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
'Cause, they sparred too hard because they sparred like they actually fight, and so they had the confidence to go in there. You know what I'm saying? With no, because Spence goes straight to your ass when he get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It don't be no just see what you got. No, Spence coming in there throwing. You know what I'm saying? So he
right,
spars too hard. For too long. So they just got to be
right.
smarter. This is Jake Paul says Jake Paul is one of the problems with boxing. I think it's about time someone knock him out. But they do more business than boxing. I mean, Tank is about to make $40 million, bro. You can't argue with that shit. Boxing can't
Is
compete
that what
with
they
that.
said? 40 is not 200 like they've been reporting. 100 million, 200
I thought
million.
I thought the 200 million was some 7 fight deal they was trying to get him. Uh, trying to get him a 7 fight deal or some shit like that. That he was trying to sign up for. And the 40 million was for the Jake Paul. But Jake Paul ain't going nowhere. I mean, he can always make that Jake Paul fight. Go knock out Roach, in my opinion. And because just because the way the first fight went, it was kind of a blemish on him. You know what I'm saying? The way he went down on one knee and all that shit, that looked bad. You know, he didn't dominate the way he usually do. And I think he needed to take care of that before he went to this. That's my only.
Well, I think that if any of those, especially the other fighters who have slandered Tank, I think that if any of them got a 50 or upwards of $50 million opportunity to fight Jake Paul, they
Yeah,
all would be fighting Jake Paul,
yeah,
and
you're right.
when everybody would have their justification on why it was right to fight Jake Paul, because Tank is the only one that gets the opportunity because Turkey tried to freeze Jake Paul out, and he already had a signed contract with Canelo, and and what's his name? And Canelo basically, basically sold his soul. You know what I'm saying? Because he sold out on that contract and he sold out on Al Heyman to work with
Mm.
Turkey. And now you just got your ass whipped by a smaller fighter and then took value away from the Benavidez fight. So it's just funny how that shit plays out, but at the end of the day, um, damn, what was I saying? All right, so Turkey, fuck, I lost my train of thought that quick.
Hold on, let me read this comment by Ramen Emily
Go
James.
ahead, brother.
He says, EJ looking solid right now, training with an extra weight. He says, I hope he do fight Charlo or Keith Thurman after a Fedora fight. Yeah, I think that's gonna blow Texas wide the roof off, man. That's gonna be crazy. He said, I agree, AJ. Yeah, he's looking good now. Yeah, sometimes you gotta go and heal, bro. You gotta, he got the money that he really established that money. Now, what I'm saying, he can concentrate on the rest of his career. He says,
Yeah.
I never said it was a big gap. He said, I just said there's a skill difference. And he said it came full circle. Had Canelo fought Boo Boo, rematched Laura and fought better competition, he said he might have a better prepared to see Bud fighting at his best. What's going on,
Right.
C Wood? What's happening? And let me see, it says Martel. Well, y'all love that damn fight. That fight was hell of action, bro. Martinez versus Mobile is one of my all-time favorite fight of all time. Now he says from like 3 seconds on, it was it was rock'em sock'em. But that kid Lester Martinez, he really impressed me with his composure. He had a lot to learn about getting space and still punching because Mobile was taking advantage of him pushing off, and it was a master. It was a good veteran move for him. He knew he didn't know shit about that, so he was all up in his ass. He just kept that pressure on, boy. By the time that fight was over, Mobile had done left it all in the ring. He said, I did agree, my man. He says, I don't think Mayweather didn't fight Keith because he viewed it, viewed as too big of a threat. Same with Ward and Bivol. He said, I just think they felt the name wasn't big enough. Uh-huh. Yeah, I could agree with that. Oh, you said don't agree with that, you know. Well, Floyd, of course, he was just looking for the big names, and then he was going to put you through. You was going to have to fight somebody good to get to Floyd. You know what I'm saying? He was always going to put a name out there that, you really don't want to fuck with before you get to him, you know. Floyd was always doing crazy stuff like that. He said it's not our fault. Motherfucker, Spence didn't take care of himself. He got his ass. We already said that. I already said that, bro. I feel you though. I feel you at that, Pat. Just calm down, my niggas. We going back to 2018 with all this shit. 2019, 20, 23, 21. You know what I'm saying? We're moving forward. He said EJ never makes excuses. Yeah, I was just telling you the other night, the man after he got his ass with his face all fucked up, he went out there in the post conference and he gave a he wasn't trying to leave quickly. You know, he gave his, hey, I got beat. You know what I'm saying? He make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Just like Canelo here. He ain't
Stand
making
up,
no
guys.
excuses. Yeah,
Stand up, guys.
I want y'all to hear what Canelo said. And I was impressed by this, man. Canelo was like, kept keeping it 100, my nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right. For the first
You
time in his
see,
life. Well,
yeah, he ain't had no damn choice, really. Let's see.
Round, there were moments where it looked as if the frustration was coming through. You put your hands down, you shook your head. What were you feeling and thinking in that moment? Was the frustration getting the better of you?
Uh, you know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it.
Power was a big narrative in this fight. At any point in the fight, do you feel like you hit Crawford with your biggest and best shot?
No, I don't think so. I hit Crawford, but no clean shots, like with all my power.
What do you feel like he was doing to neutralize your ability to land your big punches?
No, he's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He know how to move and everything. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style. It is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything, and
So, so that, Canelo, he just told it like it was. He couldn't figure out the style, man. And sometimes it's like that. He didn't he underestimated what Crawford was going to bring in the ring, man. And, he took a L, baby. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to take a L, but I'm just surprised he's being this honest, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, usually say, I'm Canelo. I did not take no loss. I've seen him say, get out there and get his ass beat by Bivol. I didn't lose. I didn't lose. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? Bro,
he had the same face in this Crawford fight that he had against Lara. Like, you seen it in his face before. You see the tantrum, him turning red. Like, Canelo really shows the defeat in his face before the decision is made. And when those judges said what they said, it's like they really they alleviated him. But I feel like he took the similar beating in the Lara fight. You know what I'm saying? Really worse. First off, Lara, Floyd, and Bivol all beat Canelo worse than Crawford did. So that's why I don't want to. It's like we wanted to take away from it, but I don't want people to be acting like Canelo hasn't been figured out. He's a great fighter, and Crawford did move up a great leap and put on a great performance in that jump. But Canelo is not, is and was not the big bad wolf.
yeah.
It's to any
And
capacity,
you could see that. You could see that when Crawford stayed in the pocket. Man, Canelo didn't look like he did not want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Canelo likes to punch you when you're leaving, when you start circling. That's when he like to attack. He really don't like to go in on the inside and stop battling. He be tired. His stamina be off. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford was just in better shape. You could see it. Crawford was relishing that shit,
Crawford
man.
wasn't gassed at all. Like that was a little,
Mm-hmm. Because
yeah.
you could just see he did not want to meet him in the middle, and once he seen Canelo, he could absorb Canelo's power. Oh, it was on and popping, bro. He says, after a loss like that, it's hard to come back. You know what, Canelo, he done made so much. He's just at that age where it don't matter no damn more. You know what I'm saying? This dude done, he done
It's not
already
bad though.
he done already got enough accolades, made enough money. So for him, it's just the passion of and the pride of fighting right now. So he could walk off to the sunset right now, and he's good. Just because Canelo sound like man, he up there, yeah, yo do, yeah, he sound crazy. He says Canelo took, he and the crazy thing is he speak great English, but when he don't want to really, explain himself, he start doing this immigrant shit. It says Canelo took a hard goddamn loss. He says lost all his belts. Now Canelo is fighting off a pure name. Yeah, yeah. He don't really need the belts. He take his fan base with him everywhere he go. He says the fact that the judges had that fight close shows how much money, control boxing, how much Canelo, I think it was what, 113, 115, and 117, something like that. They had two judges had it close. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, that's that
Yeah,
tough stuff.
they had him up by 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
and
it's that Canelo
I mean,
shit.
it wasn't blasphemous. Like, dude still got the unanimous. It was a clear win over a crowd favorite. That, like, this is one of Vegas's. This is a draw. This is the international draw here. So
Mm,
we can't expect a real blowout. When it comes down to because they want to make that money back. They
yeah.
can't sell Crawford. They ain't gonna get that out of Crawford in the next event.
Well,
So the
like I
best
said,
thing to do is to push a rematch
that's
if you
what
want to talk about
you
monetarily.
just said. There you go. I said this might just be, theater. This might just be theater for the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Um, he says maybe less him, but more because they didn't want to lose the previous face boxing. Of course, that's where the money at. You know what I'm saying? Crawford right now, even with his fame, not enough people support Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I think it was something like 41.6 million people watched that damn fight. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God damn, boy. I was like, everybody had this shit on that damn night to watch it on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? To watch that shit. That's amazing. They had a lot of people are more exposed to who Crawford is. I don't know if he can maintain that fan base though. To go anywhere else to fight. To pay for a pay-per-view for his fight. This was a good venue for Crawford because all his pay-per-views sucked. His pay-per-view numbers sucked everywhere he went. He never had like a successful pay-per-view, except for in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying, where he probably sold out in Oklahoma. But that was a small venue though. He says, that was a small ass venue. He says, he said to be fair, the Canelo was up 3 rounds before the ring walk. Yeah, I've said that. I said 4 rounds. I said that nigga's up 4 rounds before he even hit the ring. You know. He says, I think it's a personal opinion, but I think he lost against Triple G. That's yeah. That first time, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the second time, I think
See,
Canelo got
I think he got Triple G the first time. I think it was that was the best performance that he put. Man, yeah, I really think that Canelo won that first one, man. I don't
It's
care that
like
man
it was
had
so
too much
close,
looking for
man.
him.
Both fights they were going back and forth. It was so close, man. It's like
It was definitely it was competitive, man. But I just think he was making Triple G look a lot more foolish, and the punch percentage was definitely you know like he made Triple G miss way more punches. It's like if I don't see somebody get hit with an effective punch or with effective punches, then I gotta judge by how many you've been made to miss, and
mhm.
I just think that Canelo was far more efficient in the first fight. I really think the last two fights were more shoddy performances. I think that Triple G definitely won the second fight. Well, I didn't watch the third fight, as a matter of fact. So, but the second fight, I think Triple G really won the second fight. Sure,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
just my opinion.
Yes, sir. What do you think about your boy Ricky Hatton passing?
Man, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. Was something funny because I did see that he did post. He just posted him hitting the bag, and he seemed pretty active, healthy. How did he
Ricky
pass?
Hatton dead at 46.
Yeah, how did he pass? He was just
They
training.
said they found them dead. They said it wasn't no suspicion. It ain't. They didn't call it a homicide or nothing like that. There, you know.
See, that's the
What's going
thing.
on,
You don't
Tommy?
know, man. But what's going on? Why do we not have the full details on what could have, should have, would have been? You know, what it could have, should have, would have been. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
man. You know, boxing is a dirty ass. Like people really sleep on how dirty the people are and the handlers behind boxing. And we don't know the extent of it. Not blaming nothing for anybody, or I don't know what he was tied or connected to, but you know, definitely rest in peace to him. Definitely not one of the. He's not one of the unfavorable faces of boxing. You know that. Yeah, man.
Man,
Unfortunate.
it was so
It's an
funny.
unfortunate loss.
I was listening to the Spanish channels and stuff, and just to see what kind of tone they got going on. I was talking about this the other night, and I was saying how in denial about they were just trying to find they were nitpicking every little thing, man. Like they had Canelo up, you know what I'm saying, 4-5 rounds and stuff, and talking about Crawford didn't beat Canelo. Then they had the Mexican that came in, and they were saying he got his ass beat, and that has caused a big ruckus over that BDA. And they were just going back and forth. That them motherfuckers were hurt, bro. They were hurt, you know what I'm saying, about Canelo losing, but they could not take it, bro. And the ones that was keeping it real, they were drowning out. But eventually enough people came in and was like, just accept it, man. Crawford went in there and outboxed him. And you know, most people they can't believe that Canelo could be outboxed the way he was outboxed. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I
right.
said, y'all just saw it. Y'all just saw it, you know, for yourself. You know what I'm saying? He always had problems with boxers, you know.
With boxers, exactly.
Right. So, you know, it just had me tickled a little bit just to listen to them how they were trying to break that shit down, trying to find any little thing they could hang on to, you know, to give Canelo, you know, a break in the fight, you know what I'm saying, to claim victory. And say, bro,
Mhm.
he still lost, bro. No matter which way you slice the pie. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you slice that bitch 21 ways. You know what I'm saying? Crawford won 18 of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I don't give a damn how you slice the pie. This is what it
I
is.
was impressed, man. Like I said, you know, I like, you know, I hate that dude's guts, man. And but
He's,
I was pleased to see some. I was pleased to see some sound and intelligent boxing out of him on Saturday night. You know, like I can't take. I really
oh, they
can't
they
take away from the performance.
Oh, they don't even give David Benavidez no. They act like he ain't shit. They act like David Benavidez ain't nothing. Like he should have never had an opportunity to fight Canelo. That is some crazy stuff they got. You know, that cognitive dissonance shit. You know, it's like oh, David Benavidez, he's trash. I was like, bro, are you serious? I could have broke it to the comments, but I was like, I ain't even fit to go in here like that. There, you know what I'm saying? They would have kicked my ass
Yeah.
straight up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Especially BDA. BDA is an echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
he'll call you disrespectful in a minute and kick your ass up out of there. You know, so what's going on, Thomas? See you out there. Yeah. Eric say, he says the Mexican at my job are old. Yeah. Now I done came across some Mexicans who don't really rock with Canelo because they still rock with Chavez, the ones that fought everybody. Even Oscar De La Hoya was a beast. He fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? Oscar didn't duck nobody. Shit, he went out there and got his butt kicked like he was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? He says, yeah, he says they glad Crawford won. He said they look at Canelo as an outcast since he threw the belts in the trash. Yeah, you
Who
know.
about some trash?
Didn't he throw when he was at 154, right? He was before he moved up to 168. You know, said he vacated. I forget which one it was. He vacated the belts to get away from
Yeah,
Jamal Charlo.
Charlo.
I think it was 160. I think it was what 160. He was trying to. vacate and shit, you know, so because they was trying, I think he was mandated to fight them guys, fight that Jamil, one of them, and he went on up
Jamal,
there. Yeah,
yeah. He was running from Jamal, and I want to say it was Jamal and Andre at
yeah,
one time, and
because
then it
yeah,
became
he did not want to fight Boo Boo at all, bro. He did not want to fight Boo Boo. Yeah, and Jamel, tell you the truth, he should have fought. He should have fought Boo Boo or Jamal, one of them. You know what I'm saying? Should have fought Boo Boo. That was just a missed opportunity right there.
he
Them two,
made
they should.
Benavidez take his ass out, right? Like that, it's crazy how these niggas leverage their how they weaponize their championship status, and he like make them fight each other, and he still didn't fight neither one of them. Like
Hmm.
that's wild, you know.
Yep. But y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know, we'll probably come back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little sleepy now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I
for
know
sure, man. Yeah,
everybody got to get up for work. You know what I'm saying? We came off a 15-hour live stream. So, you know what I'm saying? Catch you
for
guys
sure, for
tomorrow. See you guys, man. You know, say this is a good little live stream, though. You know, you got to come back through, seeing. You know, say I like the way you think about things, give a different perspective. You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure, man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Appreciate you
man. Come on,
having me, man.
no doubt, man. Come on back through here, man. You know,
For
got your
sure, yeah.
boxing home here. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
But y'all know what it is. It's been Pool Kind of Boxing. See you guys tomorrow in the next one. You know what I'm saying? Peace out. You know what I'm saying?